Donald Humphrey and Aaron Bailey, and doing the honors for Buffalo is Steve Christie. And Humphrey comes out of the end zone for the Colts and gets it just across the 20-yard line, and that is where the Colts will begin 1st and 10. Jim Harbaugh, the second-rated quarterback in the National Football League. A flag was thrown on the kickoff, but only Troy Aikman of the Dallas
Illegal
Cowboys.
Block in the back during the return by number 32. Will go 10 yards in the spot and into the run. 1st down.
So the penalty called on Zach Crockett, so the Colts will be backed up even further. Harbaugh with a groin injury says, I'll try to do as much as I can today. Will Wolford, the former Bill, up front along with Dixon, Loudermilk, Stasiak, and Matthews. And Marshall Faulk has been struggling to get yards. Roosevelt Potts is the blocking back. Dawkins and Aaron Bailey starts again for Floyd Turner, who's missed the last 2 games. Brian Stabline is in the 3 wideout set as the Colts begin at their own 10-yard line, and Harbaugh to the air on 1st down. And far side complete, and across the 20, close to the 1st down, and probably got it, is Sean Dawkins. Take a look at the Buffalo Bills defense for you. This is the 6th-ranked unit in the NFL. The 3-4, Hanson, Washington, and the great Bruce Smith up front. Bryce Pop, 8 sacks, 2nd in the AFC. Cornelius Bennett, he's the 5-time Pro Bowler. It is Burris and Smith at the corners. Jones and Scholes are the safeties, and Marlon Kerner, the rookie, comes in along with Greg Evans in the dime package for Buffalo. So Dawkins picks up the 1st down, and the Colts just across the 20-yard line. And the first handoff of the day goes to Marshall Faulk, and like a lot of times this year, he is met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Bryce Pop led the charge that time.
Boy, just so typical of what has been happening to Marshall Faulk so far this season. And interesting that on 1st down, their first down of the game, they came out throwing the football. And talking with Jim Harbaugh the other day, he said, I don't know how much longer we can afford to run the football on 1st down. You can't keep setting yourself up with 2nd down and 10, 2nd down and 11, because they cannot run the football.
No gain for Faulk on that 1st down carry. And this time, bruising up the middle is Roosevelt Potts, 6 feet, 260 pounds, but not much yardage there, and some boos heard cascading down here in the dome early.
Well, that's what's been so impressive about Jim Harbaugh's year. You know, it'd be one thing if he had a quarterback rating that was top in the AFC and all the things that he's done if Marshall Faulk were having a great year. But when you take into consideration that Marshall Faulk has really only been a factor in 1 game this season, that against St. Louis when he had 177 yards rushing, makes what he's done even more impressive.
3rd and 9 as Potts gets only a yard. Harbaugh out of the shotgun. Moving to his left, and that is Bryce Pop, who is right in pursuit of Harbaugh. They lose yardage, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, here we go again with Bryce Pop. He was a thorn in the side for Jim Harbaugh in the first meeting, and just absolutely no match whatsoever for Jason Matthews, the young man who was a 3rd-round pick last year. That bull rush that Bryce Pop showed us last week against the Miami Dolphins, working against the rookie there, Billy Milner, comes right back with it, and it is getting to be overwhelming.
So on 4th down and 12, this is Chris Gardocki's first punt of the game. Jeff Burris, second-year man out of Notre Dame, takes it at the 34, avoids a couple of tacklers, and gets it close to midfield. 47-yard punt, 16-yard return. And we'd like to welcome those of you who have just watched the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets. Just the 3rd victory of the season for the Patriots. That one in the Meadowlands as the Jets fall to 2-8. Here, opening moments from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. And we mentioned off the top, one of the most anticipated games in years for Colts fans. But Jim Kelly will have something to say about this before day's end. It gets good field position starting at the Buffalo 49. And right away, Kelly perhaps audibleizing at the line of scrimmage. And this one is to Derek Holmes. Holmes nowhere. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Up front for Jim Kelly. The big news is that Glenn Parker is back. He's missed the last 2 games with an ankle injury. No Thurman Thomas. No Andre Reed. It is Derek Holmes, who you just saw on the carry, gets his 2nd career NFL start. He's in there for Thurman Thomas. Justin Armour comes in as the 3rd wideout. He's also a rookie, and Copeland and Bill Brooks are the wideouts. Kelly's first pass of the day, wide open is Bill Brooks. And he's in for the touchdown. 51 yards.
You have to be happy for Billy Brooks. Here's a guy that back in April took $1 million pay cut. He was cut from the team, re-signed for $1 million less. Now, with Andre Reed out, he has become the go-to guy for Jim Kelly. You can see Kelly just looking off the defense, and Andre Reed wide open on the play. No match whatsoever. They tried to put the safety, Jason Belzer, on him. No way.
So the Bills tack on the extra point. Steve Christie doing the honors, and the Bills offense has been heard from in a hurry. Kelly to Brooks for the 7-0 lead. The game, the former Colt who played with the Colts for 7 seasons, Bill Brooks, falls in the 51-yard scoring strike from Jim Kelly, his 5th touchdown of the season, 40th career.
You know, when he played with the Colts, there was only one guy who had more catches, more yards, or more touchdown passes than Billy Brooks. His name, Raymond Berry, not a bad one.
So 2 plays and a 7-0 lead for the Bills, and back to receive. The kickoff is Ronald Humphrey. Across the 20 and close to the 25-yard line before he's brought down by Damian Covington of the Bills. 23-yard return.
And this Colt offense really has to get something going. Last week in that game against the Jets with Jim Harbaugh banged up, even though he did come back in, they had 3 yards in the second half. 3 yards in the second half and won the football game. It was an amazing performance by the defense, but right now offensively they have to get it going, and I think they have to start throwing the football on first down because they are not going to run it on this bunch.
Less than 100 yards passing, less than 100 yards rushing. Just the 2nd time in the club annals that they've won with less than 100 yards gained rushing or passing. This drive begins at the 24. And a handoff to Falk. And Falk, again, nowhere to run. Monty Brown among the Bills, plugging up the hole for Marshall Falk.
And you want to keep the balance, and I understand that. Lindy and Fonte calling the plays, and you've got a great weapon. But now you've got a situation where Bryce Popp and Bruce Smith and looks like Phil Hansen, one of the defensive linemen for the Bills, hurt on the play. But these guys really start getting in gear now, 2nd down and 7, 8. They know they have a chance to come after Harbaugh.
Phil Hansen down, the starting left end, and it appears he fell or was collapsed on here.
Looks like Phil Hansen right here is going to get collapsed down on the play.
Well, you mentioned the big game that Bryce Popp had, the 3 sacks. It was Phil Hansen who had 2 sacks against the Colts in the first meeting, but now back up on his feet.
And that would really be a big loss for this Bills team. He is 2nd in sacks. He has 4.5. You would think Bruce Smith behind Bryce Popp, but in effect it has been Phil Hansen who has been getting to the quarterback. Of course, Bruce Smith's still getting all the attention, and they're going to slide the line over there that way, and that opens things up for a guy like Phil Hansen to do a little more one-on-one pass rushing.
So perhaps we'll see more of Jim Jeffcoat, the 13th-year veteran, his first year with Buffalo after a dozen years in Dallas. But 2nd down and 8. From the 26, the Colts' 2nd series of the ball game, the first ending in a punt. And they trail Buffalo 7-0. Harbaugh going downfield to Aaron Bailey, incomplete. That was Jeff Burris alongside him.
And for Jim Harbaugh, it's going to be a long afternoon. That time Bruce Smith with the inside move. And you have the double team, you have the hold, you have the trip. You've got Kirk Loudermilk in there trying to do everything that he can, but still he's right there at the feet of Jim Harbaugh, and Harbaugh knew he had a chance there.
So 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, Harbaugh feeling the heat and does dump it off to Falk. And Falk has the first down across the 36-yard line. Harbaugh was pressured, but Falk was able to take advantage of it.
And that time nobody blocked Bruce Smith. He just came running in there free. They had a screen set to the other side. But you could see that Will Wolford, the tackle, for whatever reason, didn't get the snap count. He stayed in his stance, sort of reminiscent of that hit where Bruce Smith knocked out Boomer Esiason, and Will Wolford just sitting there. And all of a sudden, here comes Bruce Smith, and Jim Harbaugh's got to be thinking this is going to be a long day.
Ball is at the 37. A lot of time this time, and he's got it complete to Aaron Bailey. Aaron Bailey close to another first down. We mentioned at the top that Bailey starting again for Floyd Turner, who's missed the last couple of games with a hamstring injury.
Well, that time Wade Phillips doing Jim Harbaugh a favor, dropping Bryce Pop back into coverage. Ken Dilger, the tight end, was there to block him, but then when he dropped back into coverage, that freed up Dilger to go out in the flat, and that got the width on the play to allow the other receiver to come in behind.
Now they're going to come out to measure. The ball just short of the 47 as you look at the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, Wade Phillips, and that short from the marker.
Ted Marchibroda telling me before the ball game that should anything happen to Jim Harbaugh today, that they would go with Paul Justin as the next quarterback. And the reason that that is news is that they paid Craig Erickson $1.9 million per season to come over as a free agent from Tampa Bay. And all he's doing today is just warming up Paul Justin,
who makes about $149,000.
That's right.
We go from the starter to the number 3 quarterback. 2nd down and short. And Harbaugh will hand off to Falk. And Falk is into Bills territory across midfield. He picks up the first down. Bruce Smith made the stop on Marshall Falk.
Bryce Pop right here. Watch him just take on the tight end and then slide down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. Just get his face right up into Dilger's face and just going to go down and make the play. They really have not found a way in Indianapolis to control Bryce Pop.
And also good news for the Bills defense. Phil Hansen has come back into the game for Carl Wilson. And Marshall Falk is split out to the left. Play action to Rosie pops and going deep again to Bailey, who's open inside the 10 before he's shoved out of bounds at the 4. 45-yard connection to Bailey.
And I agree with Jeff Burris. I think that Aaron Bailey got away with a push-off at the end of this play. As the ball was coming down, Bailey is going to stick his arm back out. You just missed it there, and push off a little bit on Jeff Burris. Burris immediately going to the official on the play, but was not called. And now the Colts in position to tie this thing up.
And a good job by Harbaugh to get it off. He was being pressured by Sam Rogers. So 1st and goal at the 4. The Colts try to answer the Bills' big touchdown toss. And we'll be back. Colts trail 7-0, but threatening. The RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Bills with a 7-0 lead, approaching the midway point of the first quarter. But the Colts with a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Double tight end set for Jim Harbaugh. Fake to Falk left side. Harbaugh rolling to his right and throwing it away. That was Bruce Smith all over Harbaugh.
And there's an example of where Jim Harbaugh's bad groin may have kept the Colts out of the end zone. Looks like he is limping a bit, but ordinarily Jim Harbaugh would have run that one in. I'm convinced that Jim Harbaugh rolls out here and runs this one in for a touchdown if he's completely healthy. And you see Bruce Smith just running him down from behind, and I think as he threw that ball, you could almost see him wincing a little bit. So we have to keep an eye now on Jim Harbaugh and that bad groin. Boy, he's limping badly right now.
He gutted it out last week, played sparingly in the second half, but it was really after the game when it tightened up. As whistles stop play. As the Bills take a timeout, we'll take a timeout.
In searching for a luxury performance.
What happened looked like maybe Thomas Smith should have been on the field. He wasn't, and they were forced to take the timeout.
Second and goal for the Colts. Harbaugh still in there, but obviously limping. And he'll keep it on the ground. Falk trying to pick his hole for the touchdown. Seventh rushing touchdown of the year for Falk. His 9th total.
And the Colts are doing a nice job of finding a way to stay away from Bryce Pop. They're moving the tight end now to the other side. He is much more comfortable playing over the tight end. They move the tight end the other side, then run behind the tight end on the right-hand side, allowing Marshall Faulk to get in the end zone.
So a good scoring drive put together by the Colts. 76 yards, 8 plays, just 3.5 minutes. And here is Kerry Blanchard, who has yet to miss any kind of kick this year. He's now a perfect 8 for 8 in point afters. And he ties up the score. With 7:50 left in the first quarter, Marshall Faulk and the Colts have matched the Bills. Big play touchdown, 7-all.
Ken Dilger right here started on this side, moved over here to get away from Bryce Pop. Now you've got a mismatch on the right side for the Colts. Big Roosevelt Potts comes slamming in there, getting a block. Randy Dixon pulling around. Well executed, well thought out by the Colts.
Man, that running by Faulk really looked like the old Marshall Faulk, who would wait, be patient, pick the hole, and just burst.
Yeah, you really want to go against number 59, Sam Rogers, if you can, and not Bryce Pop. That time, by moving the tight end, they got the run against Rogers and stayed away from Pop.
And let's not forget the big pass play to Aaron Bailey, which got the Colts down there inside the 5 of Buffalo. The NFL Rookie of the Year, just one game over 100 yards this year. That was the big 177-yard day against the Rams. But the last 4 games, Chris, he's had less yards than that, 174 total. Blanchard kicks off, back deep. Yonel Jourdain takes it from about the 3. Nothing on the right side, and he is dragged down at the 10. Just an 8-yard return.
Now we're starting to see some of the emotion out of this Indianapolis Colts team.
The flag has been thrown at the 20.
Holding during the return. We'll go half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st and 10. Number 51.
So the Bills will begin this drive deep. Remember, their last drive began with excellent field position close to midfield. But Jim Kelly will be forced to work from inside his own 10. And we mentioned Kelly really beat up in a loss to Miami last week. He said, I saw a lot of my chiropractor this week.
He said he became my best friend during the course of this past week. And with Jim Kelly, he's got to play. I mean, they don't have anybody else. Thurman Thomas is out and Andre Reed's out.
Ball just across the 6-yard line. Bills and Colts tied at 7. Kelly quickly out in the flats to Steve Tasker. And Tasker makes the catch at about the 10. Let's get our first update from Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dan, it's all over in Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs improved to an NFL best 8-1. Steve Bono, 19-yard TD to Willie Davis there. Chiefs have won 5 in a row. They beat the Redskins today, 24-3. Dan and Chris, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. 7-all here. Jim Kelly on the ground, this time to Derek Holmes, and he is smothered. Led by 61, Tony McCoy.
Well, we talked about the problems that the Colts have had running the football. Last week, Derek Holmes against Miami, just 24 yards rushing, and he is the lead back. You really can't rely now on Jim Kelly and this K-gun offense to control the defense. They have to get something going on the ground themselves.
3rd and 7. Kelly pressure from the backside, but gets it off to his tight end, Lonnie Johnson. And Johnson will be short of the first down. Quentin Coriat makes the stop. Another flag has been dropped at the 3-yard line.
Roughing the passer, number 51. We're going to add 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Big penalty on Trev Alberts.
Trev Alberts, who has been demoted. He was the starter at the beginning of the season, but just simply could not get the job done. He is a good pass rusher, but that is way late and way foolish. He didn't try to hurt Jim Kelly, but there's no reason to hit him. I mean, there's absolutely, it wasn't a big hit on the play, but definitely roughing the passer.
So the ball all the way up to the 29-yard line. Lonnie Johnson, who made the reception, out of the game. Tony Klein, the rookie out of Stanford, is in the lineup. Kelly gets rid of it, and Russell Copeland makes the catch close to midfield at the 48 for another Bill first down.
Russell Copeland was not happy this past week. He felt that too much of the blame was being placed on himself and Derek Holmes, and that other guys on the team were pointing the finger at him instead of taking responsibility for their own play. Everybody on Buffalo had a bad game last week.
He is the leading receiver. Now that Andre Reed is out of the lineup, on the ground, this is Derek Holmes. He's the rookie out of Portland State, the 7th-round draft pick. And he has been forced into duty with the alien Thurman Thomas and had a lot of room to run there. There are the stats in the first 6 games for Holmes. The last 2 games, well, he's had his problems.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Derek Holmes just ran over Tony McCoy on that one.
Kelly sets up the screen to Holmes. And Holmes is down to the Colt 45. Stephen Grant, the left linebacker, on the stop for Indianapolis.
Jerry Ostrowski missed an opportunity, the right guard, to get out in front of this one and make a key play. Really didn't get in the way of anybody, just sort of floundering around.
3rd and 4 for Buffalo. Kelly, quick drop. Tried to slip it to Damon Thomas, incomplete. He was being shadowed by Ray Buchanan, and that'll force the Bills to punt.
Ray Buchanan, who had such a huge year a year ago, 8 interceptions last season, 3rd highest in the NFL, really has not been very productive this season, but you can see the kind of ability that he has. And Vince Tobin said, I'm not so sure it didn't go to his head a little bit last year, but at least on that play, bouncing back.
That is Ben Bronson back deep. Chris Moore hanging a huge punt, but it should go into the end zone for the touchback. 45-yard punt by Moore. 7-all. 4:47 left in the first. Quarter with his back to us is Thurman Thomas, one of the key offensive weapons out of the lineup for the Buffalo Bills. It was Thomas who injured his hamstring in the first quarter of the New England Monday night game, has not played since. Andre Reed did not make the trip, but here's a look at the games missed and when they're expected back, and none too soon if you're Jim Kelly.
Thurman Thomas, 6 straight years over 1,000 yards rushing, and you just don't replace a guy like Thurman Thomas, a guy like Andre Reed, and certainly this Bills offense has been struggling.
So here are the Colts just short of the 20, 1st and 10. give is to Falk, and nowhere to run for Marshall Falk. Now the scoring update. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dan, the Minnesota Vikings, 7 of their last 20 games have gone to overtime. This one almost did, but as time expires, Claude Reves from 39 yards out, the Vikings beat the Packers today, 27-24, Dan.
All right, thank you, Greg. Tied at 7. Close to the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. No gain on Falk on the previous running play. 2nd down and 10. And down goes Harbaugh. The Bills have their first sack of the game and give it to Cornelius Bennett.
Wow, there's a rare blitz from Cornelius Bennett. In talking to Lindy Infante yesterday, he was telling us that the outside guys come a lot, about 75% of the time. I believe there's Cornelius right there. And that the inside guys really don't blitz that much. Wow, look at the move. That's a beautiful move that he put on Kirk Loudermilk. Almost looked like a wide receiver coming off the ball. And that's the kind of speed and quickness. He's a great pass rusher, and they hated losing his pass rushing ability. But with his great speed, they also wanted to not limit him to one half the field, let him run all over the place and make plays.
Loss of 7, 3rd and 17. Harbaugh chased by Pop again, and this time throws it away. Sean Dawkins in the vicinity, but Harbaugh just needed to unload, and here comes the Colts punting unit.
And really, Jim Harbaugh as a pocket passer, not nearly as good as Jim Harbaugh, the mobile quarterback. When he can scramble, when he can move, when he has the run threat, just so many more things for a defense to cover. But you can see Jim trying to stay in the pocket, and that really just is not his game.
So Chris Kardaki at the goal line, hanging a pretty good punt. Burris drifting over to the 38. Good move, and he's into Colt territory. That was Kardaki who missed the tackle, but they dragged down Burris at the 21.
Amazing. That looked like there was absolutely nothing coming whatsoever. And I believe Jeff Burris may have been injured on the play. Oh, and he's holding that knee. That would just be terrible, because he has become such a good player in this league after switching over from the cornerback or from the safety position to playing cornerback. And he looks like he just lost. Like he doesn't know exactly where to go, and then all of a sudden spots the hole and jets up through it. At Notre Dame, they used to bring him in on the goal line and let him play running back. He scored a lot of touchdowns at Notre Dame. But somehow, some way, he injured his knee right there.
31 yards on the return by the #1 pick.
Great patience. He just waited until he found a little opening and took off.
And he is still down at the 21.
So valuable. He has not given up a touchdown pass this season. And last year, this secondary criticized so much. Jeff Burris and Thomas Smith really going through the learning process. But this season, he has been getting the job done. I think they've only given up 4 touchdown passes all season long.
It is the 6th-ranked defense in the NFL, although they've had their problems the last couple of games, particularly in 3rd down situations where teams have been making better than 50% on Wade Phillips.
Well, one of the big things that Jeff Burris was talking about with us the other day was how important it was when they signed Bryce Pop, that now instead of a quarterback being able to sit back in the huddle and read the 2nd and 3rd wide receiver, they've got to get rid of that football. See if we can pick up exactly what happened. I don't know that he ever saw Scott Radisak coming in from behind. A lot of times when you relax that leg and you don't think that anybody's about to tackle you, that's when the injuries will occur.
Well, it appears he is definitely in some pain. And we'll take this opportunity to Let you know about next Sunday on NBC Sports. Again, the NFL on NBC beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time. It's the future Hall of Famer Joe Montana, the Super Bowl coach Mike Ditka. They join the co-host Greg Gumbel and Ahmad Rashad as they preview Week 11 action.
You know, Art Modell may want to hire Mike Ditka as his bodyguard here for the have to go in the witness protection program up there in Cleveland.
There are some of the big games. Of course, the Patriots, who won today, take on the Miami Dolphins at Joe Robbie, the Raiders and the Giants, and these Colts go down to New Orleans to take on the Saints or the Bengals down in Houston, Texas to take on the Oilers. It's all on the NFL on NBC next week as Jeff Burris will be carted off.
Well, you just hate to see this. I used to cover the Notre Dame games on NBC, and such a classy young man, bright, articulate, really a joy to have a conversation with.
So the Bills having to deal with yet another injury. Mentioned the injuries to Reed and Thomas, which is really just almost just their entire offense. There is Andre Reed, who was injured October 8th. Hamstring versus the Jets. 5th game of the season. Hasn't played since. And then the Monday nighter, Thurman Thomas. Although they expect Thurman back before Reed. And there goes Jeff Burris. But the Bills at the Colts 23. 1st down and 10. Tied at 7. Closing moments of the 1st quarter. And a wide pitch to Derek Holmes, and Holmes on a second effort gets it up to the 21 or 22. Tony Bennett on the stop for the Colts.
And the Bills going with their K-gun offense today. They tried the 2-back earlier in the season to get away from the K-gun. They thought it had gotten a little bit predictable. Go back to the K-gun, struggle with that, all the injuries, back to 2-backs, now back to the K-gun. They're trying everything they can to get this offense going.
Whatever works, says Jim Kelly. And here's Derek Holmes, who just has not been getting any yardage. Before that carry, 5 carries for 6 yards, and he was the leading receiver and rusher last week with all of 24 yards on the ground. The Goose, Tony Siragusa, plugs up the hole.
And you hear the crowd, the Goose, Goose, and Tony Siragusa wasn't a part of that first ball game between these two teams, and Jim Kelly said, I wish he wasn't a part of this one either.
3rd down and a long 8, call it 9. Kelly from the shotgun and in and out of the arms of Derek Holmes. And Kelly was being pressured.
And Jim Kelly is going to be back at the chiropractor after this hit from Stephen Grant. As soon as he releases the football, you see Grant out on the wide receiver, but then coming on the blitz, going to lower his head and go right into the chest of Jim Kelly.
So the Bills will attempt a field goal. It'll be a 39-yard attempt for Steve Christie. He accounted for all of the scoring last week with his 2 field goals. Plenty of leg, and it is through. So Steve Christie, 18 of 22 on the year, and it pushes the Bills out in front by 3 by a score of 10-7. And tonight, make sure you're there for an NBC special that's called Extremely Weird. And we're told that it is indeed extremely weird. That's followed by an all-new Mad About You, Hope and Gloria, plus Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson, and Will Smith are on the network premiere of Made in America. It's all coming up tonight on NBC.
That's a funny movie, that Made in America. I saw that one in the theater, yeah.
Jim Harbaugh's season has read like a movie script of sorts. Wasn't the starting quarterback. Of course, Craig Erickson came over, paid the big bucks to be the starter, but he took over game 3 after an inauspicious beginning for Erickson. Hurt really 3 weeks ago, originally in the groin area in San Francisco, and then re-aggravated it last week. But he has gone the distance so far today that we're told Paul Justin will be the quarterback if Harbaugh is unable to go. It would be his first NFL snap. Christie kicks off. And Aaron Bailey from the 3. Pretty good speed by Bailey. He was up to the 26 in a hurry.
Wow, and here comes Paul Justin.
And here he comes.
Here's a guy that was the MVP in the World League Championship game, led his team to the title. He had a chance to work over there under Joe Clark, who was an assistant coach for Lindy Infante, who's the current offensive coordinator now for the Colts. So he knows the system probably better than Harbaugh or Craig Erickson. But an amazing story. Craig Erickson, now the 3rd quarterback and making the most money, nearly $2 million a year.
Justin, 7th-round draft pick by the Bears originally from Arizona State. His first NFL snap, his first NFL give goes to Marshall Faulk. And you mentioned Paul Justin, the World League MVP of the World Bowl. That's where he got his experience professionally for the Frankfurt Galaxy. This is in April against Scotland, and I think the uniforms could use a little work. But
did you help design those? Look like your taste, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you think so? A record 435 passing yards in the World Bowl. And there are his numbers with Frankfurt, but he spent all of 94 on the practice squad, and his first NFL pass. And it's to Sean Dawkins for a first down, and now Justin looks like he's hurting his right throwing arm or his hand.
And that time Cornelius Bennett coming with the blitz again, plowing right through Kirk Loudermilk. And I believe that it's going to be Bennett that's going to run his helmet, or maybe it was Justin hitting his own man's helmet, but he came up shaking that hand. But not a bad start for Paul Justin. He sent everybody there. Loudermilk has been struggling already with Cornelius Bennett.
So the Colts up at the 47. Paul Justin's first 2 plays moving the team. Faulk left side sweep. Avoids one tackler and loses maybe a yard. Thomas Smith, the right cornerback, came up to make the stop as Justin still checking out his hurting hand. Final seconds ticking down in the first quarter. And that'll be it. The end of the first quarter in Indianapolis. The Bills have the 10-7 lead over the Indianapolis Colts. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the last 2 seasons, and really we talked with Lindy Infante, the offensive coordinator for the Colts, and said that, you know, it really isn't all of his fault, but he did not look good in his brief appearance last week.
You know how good he was, though, last year for Tampa? I mean, it's amazing that he hasn't been able to get it going here. Instead,
Paul Justin with the controls for the Colts. And this is his second pass, and it's complete to Marshall Faulk. Nope. Incomplete. Out of bounds.
Good call by the official. Marshall Faulk just didn't realize where he was on the field. That's a fairly easy toe tapper on the sideline, especially with someone with the receiving skills of Marshall Faulk. Here you just sort of collapse your body, fall down. You could see the right leg never came down in bounds. Good call by the officials.
Cornelius Bennett out there trying to keep pace with Faulk, and another Bill is injured. We're still waiting for a report on Jeff Burris, who was injured on his punt return a few moments ago. Can't quite make out a number.
I believe it's Cornelius Bennett.
And it is. It looked like he came up a little lame after chasing Faulk down the sideline.
Yeah, he left the game last week against Miami. He had a hamstring injury, came back in, re-injured the shoulder. But my guess is here that in chasing Marshall Faulk that time may have re-aggravated that hamstring. This was one of the matchups. You can see him pulling up a little bit lame right there. No question about it. The hamstring bothering Cornelius once again, and that's a major blow because Cornelius Bennett, one of the few inside linebackers in the game that can run and can cover someone like Marshall Faulk.
So 58, Marlo Perry in the game for Cornelius Bennett. Third down. Justin from the shotgun eludes one defender. And downfield and complete to Brian Stabline. Good job by Justin, who was pressured by Jeffcoat. Comes up with a first down completion.
Brian Stabline at the end of this play, seeing the quarterback scrambling around, and does exactly the right thing. You run straight back towards the quarterback, does a good job collapsing his feet. Brilliant play. But Paul Justin that time, his scrambling ability, Jim Harbaugh would not have gotten that pass out. Jim Jeffcoat would have gotten Harbaugh.
Stabline, the free agent out of Ohio State, just his 6th reception of the season. And the Colts down to the Bills' 37. Faulk. Good running room. 8 or 9 yards inside the 30. Scholes and Covington put the wrap on Faulk.
Joe Stasiak's going to come out here, kick out Bryce Popp. They're going to trap him. If Bryce Popp wants to come up the field and get after the quarterback, they're just going to trap him and run inside.
Well, they give Faulk a gain of 7. So second down and 3 for the Bills. 31.
A tight end motion again.
And they give to Faulk. Faulk close to the first down. Sam Rogers put a hit on him. He had to get just inside the 28 to pick up the first down. We'll see where they spot it.
And once again, now Dilger coming in motion, going away from Bryce Popp. Now they have the overload to the left-hand side. You run Faulk left, and Bryce Popp not a factor in the play.
So it'll be third down and just really inches. Bills lead at 10-7. Opening moments of the second quarter. Good fake by Justin this time. Wide open is Zach Crockett. Zach Crockett, the rookie out of Florida State. That is the first time he has touched the ball all season.
And he's a happy guy. Look at him, a third-round draft choice this year. Fooled everybody in the house. I don't think anybody knew that Zach Crockett was even on the team, much less on the field. There's nobody within 15 yards of him. Poor Henry Jones out there. They're going to blame him, but that one just a great call by Lindy Infante.
Third-round pick out of Florida State. First and 10, ball at the 13. And this give is to Roosevelt Potts. And Potts trying to get down to the 10-yard line. He is stopped by Marlo Perry. Well, Roosevelt Potts, if he had it his way, would get a few more carries, Chris. And talking with him yesterday, he said, yeah, my ideal game is probably give it to Marshall Faulk about 25, 30 times. Give it to me 10 times instead of the, well, average of 2 carries he's been getting a game for the last few games.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that he didn't have very many yards. He said, hard to get any yards when you're only carrying it twice a game. I'm not going to lead the league or anything. So he's a guy that he was their go-to guy a couple years ago, but now relegated to much more of a blocking role.
Second down and 7. Faulk split out to the far side, is now in motion. But Justin going for the end zone, and it is picked off by Kurt Scholes. Not a good pass by Justin, and the 5th interception of the season for Scholes.
What an amazing story this has been for Kurt Scholes this season. A guy, he wasn't even supposed to be the starter. Matt Darby got hurt during the preseason. He got an opportunity to play, and now that his 5th interception of the year. And for Paul Justin, he had been playing so well, but just not a good decision here. He floated this one out to the flat, never saw Scholes. He thought that he had man coverage on his man underneath. Scholes anticipated and made the pick.
First turnover of the game goes for the Bills' favor. Copeland And Copeland is all the way down to the Colt 15. 65 yards.
Wow. If you ever doubted the arm strength of Jim Kelly, doubt no more. That one traveled about 65 yards in the air. Kelly's just going to rear back and throw this one as far as he can. And he beats the Colts' best defensive back, Ray Buchanan. Russell Copeland, after taking all the heat for this team a week ago, has come up big this afternoon.
And to give to Holmes. Holmes maybe a yard. Boy, Jim Kelly, 51-yard touchdown pass to Brooks on the second play of the game. That one good for 65. That's what he did against Miami. 147. He's matched it already.
It's been like a different offense so far today.
Instructions at the line of scrimmage. Still 9 seconds left on the play clock. And Holmes up the middle after all of that, bursting his way down to the 6-yard line. They need to get just about to the 5-yard line for a first down, or maybe just that far for a first down. Tony McCoy makes the stop for the Colts.
The one thing that Eugene Daniel told us yesterday was that he hoped that they went to the K-gun offense because then the crowd would get involved in the game. But this Bills offense has been through this before. Jim Kelly very comfortable with the audibles at the line of scrimmage. They have the hand signals. That time the perfect audible.
Third down and a yard from the 6. Holmes. He's not going to get the first down. And that will bring up 4th down. Tony Bennett led the Colts defensively.
And there you go, Elijah Pitts with his first decision of this game, and they've decided to go for it on 4th down.
Here comes Steve Christie. That would be news to him. He'll be out there attempting a 23-yard field goal. Kelly fuming as the drive sputters, but Christie a chance for a second field goal of the game. First one good from 39. And that one good from 23 as the Bills take advantage of the Colt turnover and lengthen their lead to 13-7. Indianapolis, 60,000 plus, hoping that the Colts come out on top. That would give them at least a share of the AFC East lead. But Buffalo in the same position at 5-3 atop the division standings. Steve Christie, who just connected on the 23-yard field goal to make it 13-7, kicks off. And taking this one will be Ronald Humphrey from about 2 yards deep in the end zone. And he is driven back after he crossed the 20, still on his feet. And will mark his forward progress at about the 21, 25-yard return. And Paul Justin off the interception, trying to bounce back. There is a comparison possession in total yards.
And this really has been a problem for this Buffalo team on the season. The other team has had the football on average 3 minutes more per game. The trend continuing here against the Indianapolis Colts. And while that Buffalo defense is very good, when you use the K-gun offense to hurry up offense, it means these guys have to be on the field a lot longer.
The play action fake by Justin, and Dilger couldn't hang on. Dilger, the rookie tight end out of Illinois, who is the leading receiver on this team in yardage, is unable to haul that Justin pass in.
There's Dilger right here. And this is one of my bugaboos with announcers in general. People always say, reach up, catch the ball in your hands, catch the ball in your hands. You're 25 yards down the field. Jump that big old body up in the air, wrap your chest, wrap your arms, wrap your hands around it. You weigh 256 pounds. Just make the catch. It doesn't matter you catch in your hands, you're not. Just get up there, catch the football.
Justin never saw Bryce pop. And he is hurt. or maybe stunned.
As they say, welcome to the NFL.
Second sack of the afternoon for Pop. Wow. And down goes Justin again. You know, we could see three quarterbacks for one team in the same game.
And the one thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to block Ken Dilger, the tight end, against Bryce Pop, and it's just not going to happen. Last time out, Charles Arbuckle was the tight end. He couldn't block Bryce Pop, and now you're seeing the exact same thing working on the outside against Dilger. It just is a mismatch. Bryce Pop just going easily around. That is just a tremendous hit. Absolutely clean. And Paul Justin hurt himself by drifting backwards here. At least if he'd have stepped up, he would have given Dilger some chance. But Bryce Pop has turned into an almost unblockable outside linebacker.
And guess what? Captain Comeback has come back in at quarterback. Jim Harbaugh, sore groin and all. Boy, that doesn't show much confidence in Erickson at all, does it?
And Erickson is active today. They have three quarterbacks active.
Loss of 11 on the Pop sack. The quick give to Falk. And that'll bring up fourth down and the punting unit. Chance for the Bills to get some good field position. Pop made the stop.
And Paul Justin shaking that passing arm. But he's beginning to feel some of the pain that Harbaugh has been feeling. Look at that. I mean, they have been in the backfield. And the offensive line problems for the Colts continue. They can't run the ball. They don't pass protect. And they are going through quarterbacks at a record pace.
So here's Chris Gardocki from his own goal line. Burris was hurt earlier in the game. So this is Bill Brooks. Flag comes in as Brooks hauls in at the 37. Chased out of bounds at about the 48. 50-yard punt by Gardocki, and Justin. So this is life in the NFL, huh?
But things were so much easier in that World League.
Larry Nemmers is our referee.
The one thing that makes it so difficult to play against this Buffalo team is you have to slide the line over towards Bruce Smith. So that's the reason that they have to put Ken Dilger one-on-one against Bryce Pop. You can't double-team everybody.
And that's like against the Colts.
And right now, Ted Marchibroda has to keep the wheels from falling off. This Colt team reeling.
Unsportsmanlike penalty on the kicking team, number 30. Running out of bounds, downfield, and failing to come back in again. An unsportsmanlike penalty. The penalty is declined. First down.
Derwin Gray is called for the penalty, and we'll be right back to Indianapolis.
And he hopes to never see him again. Right now, Greg Erickson warming up on the sideline and talking with Lindy Infante.
10 sacks on the year for Pop. 2 today. He's gotten 5 sacks against the Colts, and he still has some game time left in this second game. Complete to Bill Brooks. Bruised right shoulder for Paul Justin. His return is questionable. Meanwhile, on defense, Cornelius Bennett, a hamstring, doubtful his return for the Bills defense, and Burris, his knee will be examined at halftime, and we'll get more of a definitive report on him later. Bills on the move again. Derek Holmes. And Holmes looks like he picked up the first down before Bernard Whittington makes the tackle. And he does get it.
OT, which is probably one of the best running plays the Bills use, and bringing big Reuben Brown around into the hole, and Derek Holmes just following right behind.
Holmes, maybe a yard. Pretty good swarming defense that time by the Colts. Colts have been playing some pretty good defense this year. They yielded a season-low 241 yards last week to pick up some of the slack for the anemic offense. Vince Tobin, the defensive coordinator. There's Erickson continuing to warm up. Kelly's got second down and a long 9. Plenty of time going downfield, and it is complete to Brooks. And Brooks has the first down. Chased out of bounds by Damon Watts. So Brooks having a good game, the former Colt.
And where would they be without Bill Brooks this season? Right back here in the Dome where he has to feel comfortable again. Played so many games, so many years here. And he has certainly been putting on a show in this first half.
He's already got the huge 51-yard touchdown reception from Jim Kelly, and now the Bills at the Colts 26. Kelly hangs in the pocket, and it's complete again to Brooks. Brooks with a nifty move to pick up the first down. Great move by Brooks.
And Jason Belzer had Bill Brooks, the old man, right in his hands, and somehow Brooks gets away. Nice little move for an old guy right there. All right, Billy.
Well, Brooks had a 100-yard day, his 10th of his career earlier this season. He's got 90 yards already on 4 receptions. Looks like he's on to another 100-yard day. Justin Armour, the rookie out of Stanford, is split wide to the left for Kelly. And here's Holmes. Lowering his head down close to the 5-yard line. Quentin Coriat, who's having probably the best season of his career, makes the stop.
Great battle going on over here between Reuben Brown and Tony Syracuse. Those two guys just wailing on each other all day, and Reuben Brown knows how to hold pretty well for a rookie. Just grab hold of that jersey and yank Syracuse right with him.
Ball at the 5. Kelly looking for the end zone, and no indication yet. It was Tony Klein who made the reception. And we knew he'd get some time today because the Bills haven't been real happy with the normal starting tight end Lonnie Johnson. Klein is the rookie out of Stanford. A flag has been dropped.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So bring back what would have been the first NFL catch for Klein.
There's Ostrowski with the hold. He's been rotating in and out with Corbin Lucina. If he is, that's news to Ostrowski. He didn't look like he yelled at anybody. They must have gotten the number wrong.
So the ball moves back to the 15. Here comes the corner blitz. Kelly gets rid of it. He wanted Steve Tasker. It'll be incomplete, but Kelly really pressured. It looked like that was Eugene Daniels.
And Steve Tasker, the special teams ace, he's been to the Pro Bowl the last 5 years, 6 times overall as a special teams guy. Came into this season with only 8 receptions, but because of all the injuries, has been forced into a receiver's role this season.
Kelly firing into the end zone, incomplete. He wanted Klein. It looked like a Colt got a hand on it. Might have been Coriat who deflected it. And that'll bring up 4th down, and it'll bring up another field goal opportunity for Steve Christie.
Good job by this Colt defense, and there's Quentin Coriat, who never saw a football game. Grew up in St. Croix, and had never seen one until he moved to Texas and saw it on Monday Night Football, and now playing in the National Football League.
33-yard attempt for Christie. The hold by Chris Moore. And Christie is 3 for 3 on the day, and the Bills move out to a 9-point lead. Fondy, the former head coach of the Green Bay Packers, now the offensive coordinator for the Colts, and talking things over with Craig Erickson. Steve Christie just had the field goal to put the Bills up by 9, and this is Ben Bronson across the 15, 20, 25. Good return out to the 28-yard line for Bronson. David White made the stop on the Bills special teams unit. 31-yard return for Bronson. Well, next Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, NBC Sports World presents the complete World Professional Figure Skating Championships. Christy Yamaguchi, Katarina Witt, Scott Hamilton, all there, headline the world-class field. It's the World Professional Figure Skating Championships next Saturday on NBC. And here we have it. Craig Erickson, the third quarterback of the day for the Colts. 1st and 10. This drive begins just short of the Colt 29. And they give it to Marshall Faulk. Faulk with some pretty good yards, but once again we'll emphasize that the Colts did begin the day with all 3 quarterbacks active, anticipating that Jim Harbaugh might have to come out because of the sore groin, and also anticipating that they weren't exactly sure whether Paul Justin, taking his first NFL snaps, would be ready to go the distance, and he's already out.
Aren't many teams that have a $2 million third-string quarterback in this league.
Gain of 6 by Faulk. And Erickson gives it to Faulk again, dancing for first down yardage. That looks like the old Marshall Faulk that we saw last year when he rushed for more than 1,200 yards, third in the AFC, set 8 club rookie records.
And for Ted Marchibroda, this is like a dream come true. You come in there with Craig Erickson, whose confidence has definitely been shaken, and on the first 2 plays, you're able to run twice for a first down and just let Craig Erickson get in there and get a little settled.
Now we've just been told that Cornelius Bennett is out for the game for Buffalo. Again, Faulk, and the flag coming in from the defensive backfield of Buffalo. Sam Rogers makes the stop. And a hold on Marchibroda's team.
And Dan, they have been going right after Cornelius Bennett's.
Offense number 85. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's on the rookie Bilger, the tight end.
He's had a tough day so far. Drop pass and working against Bryce Pop, and he'd probably just like to go home now. But they've been going right after Damian Covington, who has replaced Cornelius Bennett. All those runs have been over the left guard, Randy Dixon. It looks like they're going to try and pound it out right where Cornelius Bennett used to be.
Approaching the 2-minute warning of the first half. And the Colts will not get the play off. 16-7 Bills. And you mentioned earlier Mike Ditka just erupting on the Browns' apparent move to Baltimore.
I hope Art Modell's already sold his house there. They may pick it up and carry it to Baltimore for him.
First down and 20. Erickson has pressure, gets it away. That was Aaron Bailey out there in the flats.
Boy, and Marlon Kerner doing a super job in man-to-man coverage, working on Bailey, and remember, working on John Dawkins.
Yep.
He had all the underneath coverage.
There comes Bailey. He was, I think, the intended receiver.
One of those guys. We'll throw out all the names and maybe we'll hit something.
We'll hit something. Sooner or later, we'll score.
That's what Erickson's trying to do, too. Just throw it out there. Maybe hit one of them.
Craig Erickson lost his starting job 2 games in. He threw 3 interceptions in his Colts debut, was pulled in the 4th quarter. This one he gets off to Marshall Faulk. Bills quickly collapse on him at the 30-yard line. Bryce Pop, guess who, makes the stop. Lost 4.
Here we go. This is the same thing that happened to Erickson when he came in the game last time. Will Wolford and Bruce Smith really going at it over here. And Marshall Faulk right there, but you know who is waiting for him. Boy, Bryce Pop, I always thought of him as a good player, but he has just become dominant.
6th-round pick out of Northern Iowa. Oh, wide open is Falk. And the clock's still running as Falk gets close to the 45. Marlo Perry tripped him out of bounds. So that'll bring up 4th down.
And that was really a big play by Marlo Perry. Marshall Falk just barely getting his head around in time. But if Perry doesn't make that play, he's one-on-one down the field, and that's exactly the situation that you want. He may well have picked up that 1st down. Perry, the better athlete of the linebackers. He rotates in and out with Monty Brown, but he is the better linebacker against the pass.
There's Chris Gardocki. And back deep, Phil Brooks. Once again subbing for Jeff Burris, out with a knee injury. And he'll let this one fall at the 24. Takes a couple of high hops and takes a cold bounce down to the 15-yard line. And the clock is finally stopped with 9 seconds left. 41-yard punt. Pretty good first half for Jim Kelly, and he was visibly upset last week. We were kidding him about it when we met with him yesterday. He says, hey, I'm not as bad as Dan Marino out there when he gets all heated up, because I've heard he gets pretty heated. I'm not quite that bad.
Yeah, he had that blow up on the sideline last week, and we were asking him about it. And we said, what were you saying to all those guys? And he just said, I was going, yo, what's up? And then he'd throw his helmet, and then he'd say, yo, what's up? And he'd throw the Gatorade cups, and that was about as animated as I've ever seen Jim on the sideline.
Well, he's, besides, without Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas, people forget Pete Metzelaars. He's also one of Jim Kelly's great weapons in the Super Bowl runs of the past. Stay tuned now for Greg Gumbel and the Domino's Pizza halftime report after these messages from your local station. 16-7 Bills at halftime. For the Indianapolis Colts, both teams with a touchdown in the first quarter. The difference has been 3 field goals by Steve Christie for the 9-point Buffalo lead. And a look at the Coors Light halftime stats.
The Colts really held the football for much of the half, but that one turnover by Paul Justin, they were driving down and getting ready to score, would have given Indianapolis a chance to stay right in the ball game, and that seemed to turn the entire momentum.
So Blanchard starts things off in the second half, back deep. Yanel Jordan for the Bills. Jordan still on his feet. Across the 20. Pretty good return. Didn't look like he had much of anything, but he gets it out to the 25. Jourdain, 18-yard return in his second year out of Southern Illinois. Jim Kelly, the numbers for him in the first half. The big touchdown strike was to Bill Brooks. Good for 51 yards. That came on the second play of the game. And still no interceptions for Jim Kelly. This is his 4th game without one.
And really so much better a half than what they had a week ago against Miami. They were 3 and out in that game 5 different times, and it was the first time that Miami had held Buffalo without a touchdown in 14 games. So maybe that one was a bit of a wake-up call for Jim Kelly and the Bills.
Kelly comes out throwing on first down, complete to Derek Holmes. He avoids one tackler. Will be short of the first down, but a good pickup by Holmes. Finally wrestled to the turf by Jeff Harrod and a host of Colts. Harrod, the leading tackler for Indianapolis again this season.
And now Jim Kelly able to come back to some of the shorter passes. I thought the key to this offense in the first half, their ability to hit some long plays down the field. This is really much more the Buffalo offense, the underneath stuff, but now they have the Colt defense backed up and on their heels.
2nd and 2. Here's Holmes. He will be close to the first down. Quentin Coriat made the stop on Holmes. Productive not only on the ground, but in receiving. Coming into this game, he had 15 all year, 13 in the last couple of games in relief of Thurman Thomas, who adds so much in the receiving department of the Bills offense as well. And the numbers for him. On the first down, Kelly strike to Lonnie Johnson. And the big tight end rumbling across midfield. And finally knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line of the Colts. Jason Belser ran the big tight end out of bounds.
And now all the guys that were taking so much heat a week ago, Russell Copeland made the big play in the first half. Now Lonnie Johnson comes right back in the second half. Here's Lonnie Johnson just going to find a little hole in the zone defense. Kelly's going to sort of overrun it. Just a pitch and catch, and now Lonnie Johnson off to the races. But he was so much criticized by Jim Kelly a week ago and comes up with a big play here.
Here's on the move, on the reverse, Bill Brooks. Turns the corner, he's inside the 30, lowers his head to the 26-yard line. David Tate makes the stop. Big game for Bill Brooks. I believe he's got 90 yards in receiving. And picks up a good gain on the reverse.
You know, Billy Brooks last season was the first time in 7 years that he hadn't caught over 50 passes, and he did catch 40 passes, so a very productive guy. But it was like an NFL flashback for Billy Brooks. I mean, this guy is like he's lost 10 years.
Kelly in trouble, and down he goes. Sack number 1 for the Colts, and you can give it to the rookie out of Florida, Ellis Johnson.
And boy, did this Colts defense need a big play, and why not? Out of the #1 draft pick out of the University of Florida, and he's just going to overwhelm his man working against Kent Hall there in the middle.
And more bad news for Kelly as he takes the sack. Glenn Parker, who started today but has been reeling from an ankle injury, he is hurt. And 68, Corbin Lucina has taken his spot at the right tackle position. Bills 0 for 5 today on 3rd down attempts. This one's 7 yards they need for the first down, and they won't get it. Russell Copeland couldn't quite get high enough to get the Kelly pass. Ray Buchanan there defensively for the Colts.
But here's where you really miss an Andre Reed, the go-to guy on a 3rd down situation, and Copeland with a chance to catch his football would have been a very difficult catch. Came in high, a little hesitate and go move. You go up and you get a chance, get your hands on it, but a play that typically Andre Reed makes.
Here is a 50-yard attempt by Steve Christie. Just off the left upright, no good. He had been 1 for 2 in 50-plus yard attempts this season. Make it 1 for 3.
And remember, the sack by Ellis Johnson is what backed him up, and the reason that that was a 50-yard kick.
So Elijah Pitts and the Bills come up with nothing. He had enough leg, it just hooked left. He's hit from 59 yards as a career long in his career. But the reaction from Elijah Pitts after the miss, the Pitts. Colts come up with good field position, too, from that miss at the 40-yard line. Marshall Faulk. Look at him run for the first down. And a late flag comes in after the 16-yard jaunt by Faulk, who's now in a shoving match with Covington.
This could get ugly down here on the bench. Not a good place to go pick a fight, but you saw Marshall Faulk get right in the face of Covington at the end of that play, and sometimes a play like that could be good for a football team. You see your star player out there getting a little fired up, getting things stirred up now, and Marshall Faulk, all those frustrations beginning to build. Once again, they're running where Cornelius Bennett is not.
Number 57 of the defense for a late hit out of bounds. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
So they tack 15 yards onto this nice gain by Faulk. And clearly Covington had come in with a shoulder, and Faulk took exception. 57.
So there's a lot of guys on that bench because you're looking at the franchise. You don't take cheap shots at the franchise. Covington doesn't seem too concerned. And really, some of those Colt teammates, they're grabbing Marshall Faulk. They should have been grabbing Covington. I'm surprised Covington didn't get into it with anybody else over there. You see his teammates trying to come to his rescue. He got off pretty light on that bench.
31-yard play with a penalty in the 16-yard jaunt by Faulk. They're inside the 30 of the Bills. And the Roosevelt Potts surging right up the gut to the 22-yard line. Sam Rogers, along with Monty Brown, brought him down, but like Falk, Potts running very hard with authority today.
And Sam Rogers came around behind Roosevelt Potts, and Potts was sort of stopped on the play. Watch him come all the way around. He's going to end up pushing Roosevelt Potts through the hole. Roosevelt was stopped, and they're going to get a little push and just dragging Sam Rogers down the field.
Impressive opening drive of their first half for the Colts. 2nd down and 3. Falk trying to dive for first down yardage. He may be short. Monty Brown again there for the Bills.
And this is such an important drive now for this Colt offense. They've been struggling, and Marshall Faulk a little bit better today, more productive on the ground. Certainly the injury to Cornelius Bennett has helped that cause. But this is a football team that has been struggling running the football. But now you've got to believe with Harbaugh out and with Justin out, they don't want to put too much pressure on Craig Erickson.
They need a yard. Erickson fakes, rolls right, and tosses it away.
Just a bad play. It's a bad play by Erickson. You just run that football. You had the corner made. You only needed a yard, and now they're going to be forced to take the field goal.
So out comes Kerry Blanchard.
Right here it is. You just take off and run. Your team needs a yard.
Well, Kerry Blanchard, perfect on the 95 season, has not missed a kick. 8 of 8 from field goals. This will be his first attempt from 37 yards. He's been a story alongside Harbaugh this year as a unlikely hero story in the NFL, and Blanchard gets the Colts within 6. For the Indianapolis Colts, and talking with Eugene Daniel, he said, yeah, this is the biggest game of my career. He's been here 12 years. The only other game he could think of that was big was an 88 Monday Night Football game, but it was big only because it was on Halloween night and it was Monday Night Football. No real ramifications. Jourdain takes the kickoff across the 25. And that's where Buffalo will begin. Send you back out to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dan, at Soldier Field in Chicago, the Bears have pulled even with the Steelers. Eric Kramer, 12 yards. Tony Carter will make the end zone with the extra point. The Steelers and the Bears are tied at 17 early in the 3rd. Dan?
And early in the 3rd here in Indianapolis. Colts have crept within 6. Jim Kelly and the Bills from the 27. Kelly comes out firing and complete to Copeland. Copeland has first down yardage across the 40 to the 41. Jason Belser on the stop, but another big gain for Copeland.
And he just looks like a different guy today. Much more confident, driving off the football, coming back. Good solid play there. He was critical of this coaching staff this past week too. He said that our passing game hasn't had deep routes in it since James Lofton was here.
He's creeping up on 100 yards. This is Derek Holmes on the first down carry. The Goose, Tony Siragusa. All 6'3", 315 pounds of him. Makes the stop. You can hear the crowd every time he makes the stop. Comes off the field, you hear the Goose.
Coming back off a knee surgery this year. He's had surgery on both his knees.
Kelly with a deep drop. And that pass was deflected down by Stephen Grant. And intended for Copeland, but the ball never made it for Russell.
Trev Alberts coming on a blitz right up the middle. Getting a little pressure on Kelly, having to get rid of that football. And then the nice play by Stephen Grant. No question the strength of this team.
Worst in the NFL, and 0 for 6 today in the 3rd down efficiency department. Kelly taking plenty of time, just getting rid of it, incomplete. He wanted Copeland again, but good defensive coverage on Indianapolis' part. And once again, the Bills will be forced to punt.
And once again on 3rd down, Russell Copeland doesn't make a play that he has the chance to make. The Bills going with more out-of-pocket type of motion by Jim Kelly, but he had his feet in bounds if he had made the play.
So Ben Bronson, the rookie out of Baylor, free agent acquisition, back deep to receive the punt from Chris Moore. High hanging punt. Bronson calling for the fair catch. And down to his knees at the 21. 35-yard punt. Bills lead by 6.
Honestly, here's a guy that got all the money, all the pressure, has been booed here throughout the season. It would mean so much.
He wings this one out to Dilger, and he makes a one-handed grab. What a catch!
What Craig Erickson needs. Somebody to make a big play for him. The ball a little overthrown, and Dilger just going to tap it around and then get it back into his hands. Fantastic catch. What a difference Dilger has made for this offense.
The third tight end taken in the draft. He's shaken up. Kyle Brady went ahead of him. Christian Fourier out of Colorado plays with the Seahawks, but they love Dilger, the rookie out of Illinois, the second-round pick. Erickson, and he had Aaron Bailey open. If he would have been able to hit him, it would have been 6.
And right now they're coming after Craig Erickson. They're bringing a lot of people, and that's a big blow. Tim Dilger on the sideline. But what that does, when you're blitzing linebackers, now you've got one-on-one coverage in the secondary, and there are going to be some people running open. Craig Erickson just missing what would have been a touchdown. Reading the plays off his arm.
On the wrist. Again, the third quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And this time, Potts gets the call. Well, I don't think there was any doubt that Erickson had lost some confidence, Chris. Here's a guy that won 2 national titles at Miami. And as you mentioned, looked very good as the starter for Tampa Bay the last couple of seasons. But when you're pulled and you're made the third-string quarterback, no doubt you lose some confidence.
And here's where he needs to make a play. This would really give his teammates some confidence in him if he could convert this third down. They're not in field goal range yet.
Dawkins, Stabline, and Bailey, the 3 wideouts on 3rd and 7. Steps up and is dragged down from behind by Jim Jeffcoat. His first year with Buffalo after 12 years in Dallas, and out goes Dilger. And that means Bradford Banta would be the tight end for the Colts.
But what a play that time by Jim Jeffcoat. He absolutely saved what would have been a 10 or a 15-yard run. And now the Colts and Ted Marchibroda going for it on 4th down.
4th down and 5. So they're out of Blanchard's field goal range. Quick step, incomplete. And the Bills will take over on downs. Good play by the rookie out of Memphis State, Ken Irvin.
I believe he got it, Dan.
He did. Ken Irvin came in quickly, but not in time.
Just going to have one-on-one coverage. Everybody coming. An all-out blitz by the Bills. One-on-one coverage. Nice job by Erickson hanging in there, and that's the kind of play you need to give this offense a little confidence.
At the Bills 23, Falk trying to get down to the 20. 5:43 left in the third quarter. Colts trail the Bills 16-10. We haven't had a touchdown since both teams scored a touchdown in the first quarter.
What a story this would be, though, for Craig Erickson. I mean, here's a guy that they paid all the money. They bring him in here. He's a starting quarterback. He gets benched after 3 games of the regular season. This crowd has been booing him throughout the course of the season. They wanted Paul Justin in there. They didn't want to see Jim Harbaugh come out. And now all of a sudden, Erickson a chance to justify that big money.
Off again. Nowhere to roam. And that'll bring up third down. Marlo Perry makes the stop for Buffalo. Again, Buffalo picking up the slack there without Cornelius Bennett and Jeff Burris. Burris, the starting left corner.
And really, this Colt team, not a lot of weapons in the wide receiver department. They lost their star and flipper Anderson at the beginning of the season. Floyd Turner with the hamstring problem. A lot of injuries with this wide out set.
That one complete at the 13. Sean Dawkins. Actually, that is Floyd Turner on the reception. Turner, who did not start today, makes a nice reception.
But Floyd Turner, to get him back in the lineup, he's their tough guy. Going over the middle, he's the guy that's been making those kinds of plays. And it's strange that Craig Erickson, he was his go-to guy when he was the quarterback early in the season before he hurt that hamstring. He comes in there and going to be just short of the first down, but certainly adds a weapon to have Floyd Turner back in there.
Turner practiced Wednesday and felt another twinge in that hamstring, which has kept him out the last 2 games. He's been inactive the last 2 games, but he was active today. Hauls in his first catch of this game.
Fourth down now.
And very short.
Can this Colt offensive line make a play? They really have been having trouble moving people all day.
The first down. So this impressive drive continues for Marchibroda.
They got the job done. This offensive line that has been taking so much heat all season long. Blame for the problems with Marshall Faulk. Blame for the sacks on the quarterback. But when it came down to the gut check time, 4th and 1, they got movement.
And the ball just outside the 10, so they can pick up a first down. Here's Faulk. Inside the 5, down to the 2.
One of the things Bryce Pop talked about yesterday was that with Marshall Faulk, you have to take away the cutback lane. That's where he wants to go. They've been doing a decent job of it today, but that time they let him sneak back on the inside. And ordinarily, this is where Cornelius Bennett is. You saw on the play Damian Covington come inside. He took a bad angle on the play, and that's what allowed Marshall Faulk that cutback lane.
The ball spotted at the 3. They can get inside the 1 for a first down. And the Colts take a timeout, trailing by 6 but threatening. At the RCA Dome, the Bills up 16-10, but the Colts on the 3-yard line. Second down, they get inside the 1. They can pick up a first down. Cornelius Bennett out for the game. Suffered a hamstring pull in the first half. Marshall Faulk down to the 2-yard line. Phil Hansen makes the stop. And inside 2:10 left in the 3rd quarter.
Huge moment in the ball game now for Ted Marchibroda. He doesn't want to be forced into another one of those 4th down decisions. But do you have the faith in Craig Erickson with all the problems that he's had with your football team so far to put the ball in the air? I tend to doubt it. I think they're going to give it to Marshall Faulk again.
It is Falk. And he'll be short again. Maybe down to the 1. He should be short of the first down, and that will bring up 4th down. Damian Covington with a good play for the Bills to keep Falk not only short of the goal line, but of the first down.
And Jim Harbaugh has run all the way down the sideline to take a first-hand look and then come back and report to Mark Jabrota exactly how far it is. They can pick up a first down. It is literally just inches away from being a first down. Now the play clock down to 7, but Erickson with the presence to go up and say we need a fresh 25, and he gets it.
Fourth down. Falk is stopped, and a huge play by the Bills defense. You saw Henry Jones celebrating, but Ted Washington may have been the first to drive Falk back.
And Ted Washington, who has become the run enforcer inside for the Buffalo Bills. You think Cornelius Bennett likes it? You better believe it. Defense making yet another play, and it was Ted Washington right over the center. Kirk Loudermilk, the center, is going to try and reach him, but Washington, with the speed and quickness, could run all the way around the block and make the play.
So the Bills begin at their own 4 after the huge play by the Buffalo defense, leading 16-10 as Holmes takes it. But that was a 13-play drive that chewed up 8 minutes, 75 yards, no points.
But it's not that bad if you can make this Bills offense now go 3 and out. You don't mind going for it on 4th down if you can keep them backed up. But Jim Kelly and the Bills, they really need at least 1 first down out of here.
The end of the 3rd quarter in Indianapolis. The Bills with a 16-10 lead will return after these messages from your local station. This is the NFL on NBC. Injured on the big Buffalo defense play that stopped the Colts. He's headed into the locker room for examination. A scoreless Bills 3rd quarter. The Colts 16-10. They trail it as we begin the 4th quarter. And through the middle of the line is Carwell Gardner. Ellis Johnson, a rookie out of Florida, makes the stop. Falk is now being examined in the locker room, and the Colts have already lost Ken Dilger, a hip pointer. His return is questionable.
Big play right now in the ball game. Especially with Marshall Falk out, you need that short field to work with for the Colt offense.
Kelly going long downfield to Copeland. Incomplete. Eugene Daniel, who had the big interception return for the touchdown last week, comes up with a big play on Copeland there.
And Copeland looked like he was open. Had a step working on Daniel going down the field. And Kelly just underthrew the football.
So the Bills, with that 3rd down failure, 0 for 9 on the game. And the Colts with a chance for good field position. There is Ben Bronson standing at just about midfield. Chris Moore ready to punt. And he gets off a good one. Drives Bronson back to the 37. And dragged down at the 40-yard line. 54-yard punt. The Bills still with a 6-point lead.
Over the past 3 years, Dodge has offered a choice of more new nameplates than anybody else. Here are 3 more new choices, but they aren't cars. They are 3 choices that make it easier for you to drive a new Dodge. Choose from generous cash incentives.
The Bills lead the Colts 16-10, 14:08 left in the game. Marshall Faulk has made his way back out onto the field and is in the offensive huddle for the Colts.
Just wonder how effective he'll be now.
Pretty good field position from the 40. Erickson wanted Dawkins, and that pass play never really had a chance. Let's get another scoring update from Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dan, at Soldier Field in Chicago, Bears broke a tie game on this Eric Kramer to Ryan Wetnight 14-yard touchdown pass. Kramer with 3 today, a league-leading 21 TD passes on the year. It's now 24-20 at the end of the third with the Bears threatening, Dan.
All right, thank you, Greg, and we will be sending you to that game, time permitting, with 14 minutes left in this game. And this is Faulk, and the report was a bruised stomach. That's why Marshall went into the locker room, but quickly back out. And the injuries have been mounting up for both sides today. Burris, knee injury. Bennett out for the game for Buffalo. Harbaugh, groin, started the game, couldn't continue. Justin came in, took his first NFL snaps, went out with a right shoulder. So the Colts working with their third quarterback of the game, Craig Erickson.
And another moment now for Erickson.
3rd and 5. And the moment is good. Aaron Bailey deep into Bills territory at the 22.
Oh, and for Craig Erickson, he just has to be loving what is happening to him. He gets an opportunity in this one. Bailey working one-on-one. They continue to try and blitz him. And the one-on-one, Aaron Bailey able to beat the coverage down the field. Don't forget Aaron Bailey, the guy that in that final drive against Miami earlier this season had no catches in the game, but came back and now and caught 3 on the final drive as they tied that one up.
And let's not forget, Bailey had the big pass reception, which set up Indianapolis' first touchdown for 45 yards. That good for 33, and on 1st and 10, Faulk fumbles the football. The Bills think they have it, and they do. The indication. What a costly turnover by the Colts. Their second of the game. The first was the Justin interception, which was huge. But none bigger than that fumble by Faulk.
Boy, just after you make the big play to Bailey and come right back, and your franchise player lays it on the ground. Marshall Faulk, the handoff appeared to be clean.
Bruce Smith.
And Bruce Smith, as he has done so many times. You just don't even think about Bruce Smith being able to run that play down from behind, but he keeps doing it.
Henry Jones made the recovery on the Bruce Smith strip, so the Bills have it back. Kelly doing a pirouette in the backfield as flags fly in. I believe he wanted Lonnie Johnson, but a 360 pulled off by Kelly in the backfield. And the holding call against his offensive lineman.
And Jim kind of looked like Michael Jordan a little bit on that one.
Didn't know he had that in his repertoire.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Kent Hall, the 10-year veteran, gets the hold.
Can hold the center. Trying to work against, that's a good call. Trying to work against Ellis Johnson, the #1 pick. And Ellis Johnson is coming of age. He's beginning to make some plays for the Colts.
So 1st and 20. Ball back at the 10. Kelly trying to get a little piece of it. Justin Armour, the rookie out of Stanford, with his first reception of the game, 11th on the season. He hauled in his very first NFL reception in the first meeting with the Colts.
Justin didn't play a lot last week. He's been struggling with the bad ankle. And really, Ashley Ambrose giving him too much room out there. Justin Armour's not that quick a guy.
And he's also been struggling with an ankle injury. Limited play last week, didn't catch the ball, but second down now and 13. Kelly firing incomplete. He wanted Bill Brooks. And it'll bring up 3rd and long.
You know, one of the things that Jim Kelly told us yesterday was that he's not as comfortable audibling with these guys playing the wide receiver position without Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas, because those guys knew what adjustments I had in my mind. Once you go the step beyond the playbook, the guys that I have in there right now can't make those kind of adjustments.
Bills are 0 for 9 in 3rd down conversions today, and they need 13 here. This is a long shot. Underneath to Holmes, spins away from one tackler, short of the first down, and the Colt defense holds. Jason Belser, along with Coriat, make the stop. So after the fumble by Falk, he more or less is off the hook.
And he breathes a sigh of relief, but for Jim Kelly in this offense, 3rd down has been a disaster.
Now 0 for 10. Chris Moore to punt. Ben Bronson back deep. And another beauty by Moore. Bronson driven back to the 22, and he takes a huge shot, but holds on. That was Damon Thomas, who lowered the boom on Bronson, but he's able to hang on. And the Colts trying to hang on to the AFC East lead, trail by 10. Your punt return man ever taken a hit like that?
Several. I used to hate that. I used to, honestly, the night before the game, I was not even the slightest bit nervous. It was a little nasty cut. But about receiving, but catching those punts, I have nightmares about it.
Good hit by Damon Thomas. Here come the Colts again. Marshall Falk bending wide right and picking up some decent yardage.
The Colts have really dominated this game as far as the time of possession and the plays. The problems have been they've been down in the red zone, and Justin threw the interception down there again. Marshall Falk with the fumble. They've been moving the football up and down the field, but key mistakes have cost them.
Yeah, the Bills had the ball just 23 minutes last week in a loss at Miami. 2nd and 3. Falk again, and good first down rushing effort by Falk. Bryce Pop made the stop.
Marshall a little slow getting up after that one. But we've talked about it before. There's been a major difference in the Colts' ability to move on the ground since Cornelius Bennett left this ball game. Marshall Falk finding some holes and some running lanes that simply were not there before the injury.
And he may be on his way to just his second 100-yard day. As you look at Cornelius Bennett, he's got 88 yards. Plus that carry. Flag comes in as Falk maybe got a yard. Carl Wilson on the stop for Buffalo. Holding call against the Colts. And we know how Ted feels about it.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And Kip Vickers in the ball game. I don't know if something happened to Randy Dixon or not, but he's right here working against Bruce Smith, and Bruce Smith is just going to run right around him. Unless you've played against Bruce Smith, you just can't imagine the speed. There's nothing that Kip Vickers can do in practice to simulate the kind of speed and quickness that Bruce Smith has, and really no choice there other than to just reach out and tackle him.
1st and 20. Falk has come out of the ball game, replaced by Ronald Humphrey.
Erickson was just standing there and had it pitched back to him. That was bizarre.
That looked like one of those Globetrotter plays.
I think everybody was fooled.
Where Meadowlark Lemon hides it underneath his shirt. I mean, guys are running around.
I was lost after the snap.
Nobody had any idea what happened. Loudermilk just never snapped the ball.
Oh, he snapped it, but he kept
Run, Kurt, run.
Erickson.
Take off. Well, now, Harrison said, I don't want it. What are you doing throwing it to me?
Wait a minute. Was that a pass?
Well, look at it. I mean, nobody knows.
That is a forward pass, perhaps, from Kurt Loudermilk.
And really a pretty good heads-up play by Marlo Perry. He was coming after the football. I'd like to see what the stat guy did with that one.
Well, Erickson's going to walk to the sidelines to try to figure things out. Well, another look at what they're calling an aborted play.
Well, Erickson pulled out a little bit soon, and poor Loudermilk stuck with the football, and Marlo Perry's going to try and come. I love the flip, though. I think they ought to give him a completed pass. You know what? That might help with the contract negotiations next time.
Our experienced statistician, Jeff Nelson, struggling with that one as well. How do you put that one down in the books when it goes down as -3 rushing yards as Falk gets the pass from Erickson? Bryce Pop again pressuring Erickson. Marlon Turner and Kurt Scholes on a tackle to Falk.
And Bryce Pop just living in the Colts backfield. Coming from the top of the screen, and once again, this time working against Jason Matthews. Erickson trying to suck up to him a little bit at the end of the play and said, nice job. That was a good play. Let me help you up, and please don't ever hit me again.
3rd and long. 14 needed for a Colt first down. Again, they trail 16-10. 8:20 left in the game. Erickson flushed out, chased from behind, gets it away to Ronald Humphrey. Well short of the first down, but Erickson being chased. Bruce Smith.
I'm not sure they're going to be able to find volunteers to play quarterback the next time for the Colts. Bryce Pop one play, Bruce Smith the next. And watch the hit at the end of this play by Henry Jones. Wham! He knocked Humphrey about 7 yards out of bounds.
Very first catch on the 95 season for Humphrey. 4th down, though. And Chris Gardocki bringing a pretty good one Bill Brooks' way. Backpedals to the mound. And he's brought down at about the 17-yard line. Good punt, 54 yards by Gardocki. And we'll send you back out to New York for another scoring update.
All right, Dan, at Soldier Field in Chicago, Eric Pegram had 3 touchdowns all season long. This is his 3rd today from 6 yards out. What a game at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Steelers and the Bears are now tied at 24, 11.5 to play.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And we'll remind our viewers here that we will be sending you out to that game, Pittsburgh in Chicago. It's a good one, time permitting. There is 7:47 left here. The Bills with a 6-point lead. They have the ball at the 16-yard line. Holmes on the carry. And Quentin Corian on the stop for the Colts.
Well, that's the first time we've seen that kind of a hole created for Derek Holmes all day. Just a nice job on the right side, and Holmes really didn't even have to make a cut. He just went ripping right through there. And he's a load when he gets a little momentum going.
Lucina and Lucci are the right side of the line for the Bills. Ostrowski's out, so is Glenn Parker. And Holmes again searching this time for first down yardage. He needed less than a yard. David Tate made the stop.
And now the Colts forced to try and bring those safeties up and make some plays to shut down the running game. That time David Tate in there, and there's a Bill down on the field.
That's Lucina. Just as I speak of him, he is down. So the Bills' offensive line has been hit with injuries. Now they're coming out to measure to see if Holmes picked up the first down.
Well, this has been a nasty football game. It is a first down.
But, I mean, they've been dragging guys off left and right, going after it, and this is really what you would expect, a battle for first place. Don't forget Miami and San Diego later tonight. San Diego's favored there, so quite possible whoever wins this game will be in first place in the East by themselves.
There is Lucina. He had started 10 of 11 games last year until an injury forced him out of the final 4 games, and now he's down again.
You know, Jim Kelly, really one of the last remaining Miami University quarterbacks. They've had so many come out of quarterback U, but now Jim Kelly, who's the oldest of the bunch, the only one still a starter. Then he got benched in Cleveland, and Craig Erickson now getting a chance to play here. Bernie's a backup in Miami, and Steve Walsh a backup with the Chicago Bears, but Jim Kelly now outlasted them all.
Let's not forget about Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's out of the NFL.
And, you know, Craig Erickson's really played very well today. He has not been the problem. A couple of turnovers, but he's hit the plays on 3rd down, hit them on 4th down, but they really didn't have the confidence down there on the goal line to let him throw the football. 2 straight runs by Marshall Faulk, both of them stopped.
The Bills have not scored since the 2nd quarter, when Steve Christie hit his 3rd field goal. Holmes again darting through the middle, and he's close to another 1st down. Holmes picking up the slack for Thurman Thomas. Gain of 11. It's another 1st down.
Big block here by Reuben Brown, coming around and through on the counter OT. And Derek Holmes loving that side. Just follow the big guy. And he did the job, knocking Jeff Arad right out.
Again, his college career as a receiver at Pasadena College. So Kelly and the Bills trying to keep this drive alive and chew up some clock. Under 6 minutes left. And Holmes gets the call again, and he's got more good yardage, about 4 yards. Jeff Arad makes the stop.
And now Vince Tobin, the defensive coordinator for the Colts, is going to have to commit 8. He's going to have to bring the safety up and shut down the run. They're going time after time with that counter OT. They came right back with it. And he said the thing that we have to do with that play is get up there and stop it in the backfield, because if you let big Reuben Brown turn the corner, it's going to go for big yardage.
Now, running back has had a 100-yard game in 21 games against the Colts defense. Not that Derek Holmes is threatening that, but he's got 58 yards on 18 carries. And they give it to Holmes again for the 19th time, and he gets another yard. And under 5 minutes left. Siragusa, the Goose, on the stop.
And the Bills, who have struggled on 3rd down all day, this is a huge one, because if you can pick up a 1st down right now, you figure it's going to burn about another 2.5 minutes off the clock and give Craig Erickson very little time to work with.
0 for 10. Worst in the NFL. They need 4. And Kelly will take a timeout. It is a big, crucial key play, and we'll be back to see it after this. His numbers on the season, they mean nothing today. He's out. Andre Reed's out. Cornelius Bennett is on the sidelines. He's been out since the 1st half. And a crucial 3rd down for the Buffalo Bills. With 4:23 left, they have the tenuous 6-point lead. And it's caught by Brooks, but he does not pick up the 1st down.
If the Bills can win this game without picking up a single 3rd down, it will be amazing. Billy Brooks, really no choice in the matter. He had to come back almost to prevent the interception as much as anything else. But you can just tell that Jim Kelly does not have a guy that he's really comfortable with on 3rd down. And he talked about that yesterday. He said it's so important for us as a football team to pick up a couple of wins while we're waiting on Thurman and Andre to come back. and then when they're back, we'll be in a position to make our run.
So with a punt is Chris Moore, high hanging. Bronson makes the fair catch. The ball is loose at the 23. And the Bills have apparently recovered. We haven't seen a real definitive indication until right there from Larry Nemmers.
And you just have to wonder if that hit that Ben Bronson took on the last punt, maybe a little, you plant the seed every once in a while. Those things come back to haunt you. Cardwell Gardner recovering the fumble, but you remember the hit that he took the prior time from Damon Thomas, and then this time coughs it up.
Third turnover of the game for the Colts. And the Bills are set up at the 23. Derek Holmes. Flag comes in as Holmes gets down close to the 15-yard line. Jeff Herod and Coriat in there, and the Bills will be called for the hold. There is Bronson. Well, let's go to New York for another scoring update.
All right, guys, in Chicago, watch how this tie is broken out of his end zone. The pass deflected, picked off by Barry Minter, 2-yard touchdown. The Bears lead at 34-27 under 8 minutes to play. Time permitting, Dan and Chris will take your viewers to the end of that game.
All right, Greg. Costly turnover by the Colts and another costly injury for the Buffalo Bills. This is the rookie first-round pick out of Pittsburgh, Reuben Brown, who is down. Glenn Parker already has missed some time today.
And Dan, that was such a big holding penalty now because it moves them back to the edge of field goal range. So we can pick up exactly what happened to Brown on the play. Jeff Herod sort of catching him from behind.
Mike Devlin,
knee late.
Mike Devlin, a third-year player out of Iowa. They're really reaching down in the depth chart. Fifth-round pick in '93, number 62, has come in to replace Brown. Lassina's been hurt. Parker, now Brown. And the ball back at the 33-yard line of the Colts. Bills have the lead, 16-10. The Colts have only one timeout left. First and 20. Holmes down to the 28. Clock rolling, 3:11 left.
And I think that's what you're going to see out of the Buffalo Bills now. Just leave it on the ground and then give Christie the chance to give you a 9-point lead at the end of this one.
And that is the final timeout used up by the Colts. The Bills still with 2 left.
And it's an interesting story right there with Thurman Thomas as you look at Ted Marchivota. But Thurman Thomas is like a big brother for Derek Holmes. You saw Holmes come over and just get a word of advice from the guy that he has so much respect for. And, of course, Holmes has had a few personal problems in his life and with his family, and he really looks up to Thurman Thomas. And you see on almost every time out, he'll go over and get a word when they're on the bench. He sits right next to Thurman, and Thurman's just sort of walking him through the National Football League.
Well, where the ball is spotted now, it would be about a 46-yard attempt for Christie. They'd like to get him in a little closer. Second down and 16.
I'd be shocked if they throw the ball the next 3 downs.
This is Gardner, and Gardner getting some good yardage. He's inside the 25. And the clock continues to roll. The Colts defenseless to stop it with timeouts. Ted Marchibroda's team swept the Buffalo Bills last season for the first time since 1980. They lost the first game this season and are on the edge in the second game. Third and a little over 10 yards. Another one of those third down tries for the Bills. Holmes gets the pitch here. A helmet pops off of somebody. Bernard Whittington made the stop. That looked like it was Coriat who lost his helmet.
Eugene Daniel with a nice catch of it.
Well, he should have caught this. It hit him right in the numbers.
Look, Coriat's helmet's going to come shooting out of there. Eugene Daniel tries to count it as an interception.
Bizarre play at the RCA Dome. Quarter so far at the 2-minute warning mark, and here's Steve Christie, 3 for 4 on the day. You see the makes and the 1 miss from 50. This from 38 yards, and it is no good. Wow.
And Elijah Pitts has to be wondering if he's ever going to get a win as a head coach. Christie had been so perfect from this range today, just pushes it out to the right. Don't forget the problems that he had against Cleveland on Monday night earlier this season, trying to wrap that football game up. So clutch situations have not been good to Steve Christie this season. And now Craig Erickson. Does he have it in him? One final opportunity. He's played well so far today.
Jim Kelly. No. From the 28. No timeouts for the Colts. Erickson swings it out, and Falk never had a look at it. Didn't even know it was coming until it was too late.
And I don't know what Marshall Falk is doing. You're swinging out of the pattern. You got to get your head around and give your quarterback a chance. Marshall knows the kind of pressure that Erickson's been under all day. He just sort of nonchalantly came out in the flat. The other time, he almost didn't get his head around. At the last second, he did. Unbelievable.
The Bills have just 1 field goal to account for the 3 Colt turnovers, so they've really kept the Colts in it. This time Falk gathers it in and tries to get out of bounds. And he stops the clock with 1:46. Now the Colts trying to put together yet another comeback. We've documented the first 3, all engineered by the captain comeback, Jim Harbaugh. They have never had the lead in this game. Only tied at 7-all in the first quarter.
But if Erickson can pull this one off, they'll never boo him again. $2 million worth of quarterback right there. Third string coming into this game.
They need 4. Third down. Erickson hanging in there and maybe just a little too long, and Bryce Pop has another sack.
You can't block him with 1. I'm not sure 2's enough. And 3 has been a disaster. And why in the world now are the Colts back in a huddle as the clock continues to tick? 4th down, obviously you have to go for it, but you would think they'd call it at the line of scrimmage.
So it's come down to this play. And Erickson's pass is incomplete, and the Bills take over on downs. And how pumped is Elijah Pitts?
I don't think that's Elijah.
It isn't Elijah.
But they're pumped up anyway.
They're pumped up anyway, right? Somebody is.
And Craig Erickson had an opportunity to run that football.
He thought about it.
And just decided to make the throw instead, and really had a man open. A lot of field right in front of Erickson, and he just short-armed it. Just short-armed it. And for Wade Phillips, his defense has pulled it off. Offense could not convert a third down all day, and his defense wins the football game.
Colts powerless to stop the clock. And Kelly will take the kneel with 1:10 left. The Bills,
and they got him.
They got Elijah.
They got him. His first one ever. Cornelius over there laughing, and Bruce Smith laughing all the time. They got him with the Gatorade thing.
Big win for the Bills without Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas. You saw Bennett on the sidelines. He didn't play in the second half.
What a great guy, though, Elijah Pitts over there, longtime assistant. And there they go, Bruce Smith. Got him right over the top. And nobody likes it better than Elijah Pitts.
Well, we will be sending you to Chicago, where the Steelers and Bears are playing. The Steelers are trailing 27-34 in that game. So stand by as we switch you out to that one. As the Indianapolis Colts will fall to 5-4 and out of the top spot of the AFC East, and the Buffalo Bills, who may feel like they might have stolen one today, with the injury-depleted offense, Jim Kelly and the Bills will at least have a share of first place in the AFC East. Miami also 5-3. They play San Diego tonight. So right now, let's send you out to Chicago, the Steelers and the Bears, with the call, Dick Enberg.
And we welcome those of you